Hey guys, let's look at what would you do as a business analyst when you come across a situation where you got last minute changes to requirements. So requirements management, as we all know, is a key part of any business analyst job. As a business analyst, like how are you going to handle a situation where you're sort of right at the end of a sprint and you're almost about to prepare for the demo, and then you get a last minute change request or a new requirement, or even a slight change to an existing requirement that's already been built. So how would you handle this situation? So you start off by firstly understanding, okay, so what is the need for the stakeholder? So why are they asking for a certain feature? So you often want to look past the symptom. So there's a big difference between giving the users what they want versus giving the users what they need. And often you will find that solution you provide is not really solving the root cause of the problem. So you want to take some time to understand what it is that the user is actually asking for. And then you're going to ask a bunch of questions. Okay, so is this change aligned to the overall goals of the project? Is this change aligned to the actual objectives of the sprint? Or even is the change request aligned to the goals of the product or the service that you're building? So that's the number one thing that you want to do if you're especially working in an agile project. So you always want to make sure that everything your team is doing is aligned to a common understanding. So a common understanding is a key aspect to any agile project. So everyone in the team is working towards a common goal, and it's absolutely critical that everyone understands what that common goal is, right? So if a change request comes in and if it's aligned to this common objective or the common outcome that everyone is striving towards, then fair enough, let's look at it even further. Next thing you're going to ask is, how urgent is this? The thing is, if you leave prioritization to an end user or a stakeholder, often your stakeholders are going to say everything is a must-have, everything is urgent. So I wouldn't, always take that with a pinch of salt. So you want to actually analyze to see how important it is, how urgent it is. Or you're going to have to do some deep diving to actually understand the importance and the urgency of the request. You also want to look at how big is this change, or how complex is the change, right? So what is the effort that you're going to be putting into implementing this change? So once you've actually asked a bunch of questions, there's probably a few more questions that you could ask, but I want to keep this really short and sweet. So I'm going to try and cover as much as possible in a short span of time. Once you've asked yourself a bunch of questions, the next thing that you want to do is look at it from a value versus effort perspective. So I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a lot of a similar chart, but for people that haven't sort of looked at something like this, I hope this might be of some value to you guys. So what you want to do is you want to actually see, is this change giving enough value for the end users of the product or the service? If it does give enough value, then how much effort is it required to actually create this change? So basically you have your value on your y-axis, and then you have your effort on your x-axis. So then you start to map it on this graph, and you see where does this particular change request falls. If it's high in value and really low in effort, we call that the low-hanging fruit. Let's get it done. And I think this is going to provide a lot of value. There's really minimum effort. Let's get it done. And I just love such change requests when you actually come across something that is really going to make a big difference to an end user, and yet the effort is really low. I think they're big wins. They're not really, they're probably quick wins, but they're also big wins. Now, on the other hand, you might have something that is high in effort, high in value, but also high in effort. So these ones, what I would suggest we do is we probably put it at the top of the backlog and then prioritize them to be delivered as part of the next sprint. Because if you try and do it in the current sprint, you're probably not going to have enough time. You're going to stress your developers, and probably, it's something that it's best to avoid. Convey or communicate with your stakeholder or the customer. Say that this is going to be delivered as part of the next sprint, and make sure that that's got the highest priority, that gets at the top of that, because that goes to the top of the backlog. So, and then it gets picked up in the next sprint. So I would certainly want to get these done, but you want to actually make sure your team is not overloaded, and you always look after your team as much as your customer. So that's probably what the high value, high in effort. Now, if you have low value and low effort, I'm probably not going to worry about those. And I would say, put them, capture them, record them, probably goes at the bottom of the backlog. And then you have your low in value, but also high in effort. And I would probably just scrap those. And often what you'd find is if something that is a lot of effort, but the value is really low, you're probably not solving the right thing. So I would certainly not put time into sort of working on such features. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So that's the value versus effort chart. And hope this can be used in various stages of the project. But I do sort of keep this in mind when you're working on a sprint and you get change requests from a stakeholder or from a customer. And I also believe this is a question that can be asked in a lot of the business analyst interviews. I'm going to sort of do another video where I focus on the top 5 questions a business analyst would be asked, or a top 5 questions from a business analyst interview. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you do find value in these videos, please do give me a like and a subscribe. That will really motivate me to do more videos. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you, guys.